right, we made it to Lake Louise. This is our setup here. We've got the awning out. Got our new chairs.
Ray really wanted to bring our big chairs, but we
Really wanted to.
nowhere to put them.
I know.
So these, you could buy 2 of them, and it came with this little bag, and they kind of fold up into like the size of an Algene bottle kind of thing. So
yeah, they fold up really small, which is great. They were expensive though, like more than those puffy chairs that are like way more comfortable. But,
yeah, but they work.
Yeah,
so.
and they're kind of like little loungers, so it's like you don't really sit up in them, like you kind of lean back, which is nice. Yeah, no complaints. I just miss my big puffy chair. Anyway, they made it pretty clear at the other campground that like, hey, there are bears around, but this one, like coming in, I gotta go get a picture of it. There's a cooler that they have that's like been slashed up by a bear, and they have it right, like hanging right underneath their sign of like, coolers outside aren't good enough storage. Like everything needs to be locked up, and they were very strict about it when you came in.
You need to have a hard-sided camper to stay here.
Yeah, so there's like a tent campground that has an electric fence around it, and then they have a campground that doesn't have an electrical fence around it, but you have to have a hard-sided camper, and not even like one of those hybrid ones where, you know, it's hard-sided but then like you have a little pop out. Nope. Like,
yeah, no fabric.
No fabric at all. So the other thing that they were kind of strict about was no alcohol. And so at the other campground, they said the same thing, but she was kind of like wink wink about it, because the only reason that is because it's the holiday weekend, like Monday's Victoria Day, and so they have an alcohol and a weed ban for this whole weekend.
Yeah.
So they seemed a little, it didn't feel so wink wink at this campground, but at Banff, she was just kind of like, don't let us see it. But here they were like, no alcohol, and then like a pause. And so I was like, is that the wink wink? But it doesn't matter, because we wanted to show you these things that we found last year, and we haven't really got to use them much.
Yeah.
But they're silicone.
Like koozies, so silicone koozies.
With obviously different soda logos on them.
But they fit over, so right, there's local beer. And so it's kind of hard to get on, but I found putting my hand on top definitely
helps.
Yep. And then it goes all the way down. And I mean, this one has this little like thing.
Yeah, that's just the brewery.
But you know, just driving by, this is.
Yeah, if you're driving by our campsite, all you're
Just
really
having
going to see from a distance is a Sprite and a Pepsi.
I mean, and it's pretty good. I mean, this one, if it doesn't have, this is like a plastic label, but most printed labels,
yeah,
like it looks
like
perfect.
Normal beer cans. Yeah, it covers up every single thing. So
so we have these for regular cans, and then like the skinny tall cans for like seltzer, hard seltzers, and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that when we crossed the border, and that border agent was like, "What's Topo Chico?"
Alcohol's back with you guys today.
I think we have 2 Topo Chicos.
What's that?
That's like a hard seltzer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You have like 2 cans.
Yeah, 2 cans.
So, like, we've seen Topo Chico all over the place up here, so
it
he just didn't know.
Yeah,
so we got settled in pretty easily. They have like an amazing dump station here that we just pulled in before getting into our site and filled up on water. These sites are only electrical. We had full hookups at Banff, so here we only have electricals, but it, like, they make it so easy. There's so many dump stations, like all throughout the parks, even the city we went to yesterday, Canmore, is that what it's called? Yeah. Like, there's dump stations and fill stations everywhere. Like, Canada, so far, of course, in this area, has seemed so RVing friendly, which makes it really easy.
And it's interesting, too, because most of the RVs here, I would say, are, like, smaller, drivable, like, Class C's.
We're not seeing a lot of big rigs. We are seeing them, just not a lot.
Right, which, you know, big rigs can last longer, so you won't have to dump and fill as often. But, you know, for all the drivables, like what we have and what other people have around here, it is pretty convenient. I mean, you don't really need a full hookup site if you have a dump and fill right at the entrance and you're taking your vehicle out every day or every other day.
Exactly. So I'm excited to explore this area and show you guys Lake Louise too. finished up a little walk around Lake Louise, and now we're making lunch in the camper. And I want to talk about how there's this thing that I'm feeling again now that we're traveling. I mean, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out. There's the opposite end of that, of when you do take those rest days and you do take that rejuvenation time, then like regretting that. And that feeling is what I'm remembering, of like knowing we need a rest day, knowing we've been go, 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 but also knowing that there's things out there to see and do, and I need to do it, you know, just that feeling. And so we took a rest day yesterday where we caught up on some work, just relaxed. Honestly, I feel like we haven't just like relaxed in so long. So that's what we did yesterday. It was a beautiful day. And this morning we wake up to like rain and overcast, and we knew it was our Lake Louise day because we were like, we're gonna go see the lake and then like head out of town and listen to our audio tour and stuff. So I started to really get that feeling of like, oh, we shouldn't have taken a rest day yesterday, we shouldn't have done that, we should have gone to the lake, we should have, you know. Then what ends up happening is we load up our raincoats, we go out there, we start doing the walk around the lake, the rain stops, the clouds kind of dissipate, like it's still obviously cloudy, and it's just so stunning. And it's a completely different view of what we have, or what we were expecting Lake Louise to be, because you see those pictures of the beautiful glacier water and beautiful bright blue sky, and everyone's out there on canoes, and you just get this image of like what it's supposed to look like. And yet today I ended up liking this more, and it just had so much more, I don't know, like moodiness, and I really liked that. So this is just a reminder, if you have that same feeling of like I should have done it then, or I wish I did it sooner, you know, anything like that, where it's that FOMO feeling mixed with that regret of taking time out, like, I don't know, just really try and combat that, because today ended up being a perfect day anyway, and it's a beautiful day anyway. So sure, it's not a beautiful day in the sense of like bluebird skies, but it's still beautiful. So anyway, that's my little rant. That was my little epiphany. Swinging around the knife. Walking back from the lake today was that like, this is beautiful in its own way and completely different than what we thought it was going to be. And yeah, I'm just really pleased with it. So that's my little rant. But how'd you like the lake, babe?
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, it's...
Do you wish we saw it on a bluebird day?
No, absolutely not. It's better for pictures with the way it was. Like, when it's all cloudy, it's one thing, but cloudy with hints of blue sky just adds a lot more dynamic elements to your photo.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Oh, and then I don't know if you guys have these, but there's another tip I want to give is, because we had in the RV, we call them trash towels. And they're literally just towels that we won't use for our bodies, but we'll use for everything else. So I highly recommend setting aside some like old towels to designate as your trash towels, because I can already tell with how wet it's going to be up here. Like, we're going to be using the trash towels a lot. So that's what we use to like dry off Carmen, because she came on the walk with us. Oh, by the way, she had a raincoat on. And she's so cute in it, and I just thought, you know, I'm being a dog mom, but like people were literally stopping us on the trail asking to take pictures with her, because that's how cute her raincoat was. Like, people loved it, like constant commentary the whole way down, the whole way back. So anyway, that reminds me, I didn't turn off my Garmin. Yeah, so having trash towels is really helpful, because you just never really know what you're gonna need it for. The audio tour we've been listening to, Guide Along, highly recommended the Johnston Canyon hike. We opted to backtrack 25 minutes to the Bow Valley Parkway to do this hike. It was well worth it, and we had our first bear sighting of the trip.
It's just like still ice.
I know, right? That's so cool. And it's blue too.
So the last little bit of the upper falls here is this like catwalk material. A little different, probably because they get a little bit more snow up here. We tested it before bringing Carmen out here because usually we don't like her walking on this, but I don't know, these are close enough together where she doesn't seem to mind. Want to ensure that you never miss out on our new content? Don't rely on social media notifications to let you know when we post new stuff. The only way to get our updates directly is to subscribe to our newsletter. Unlike social media algorithms that decide for you what you should see, our newsletter guarantees that you'll see every bit of content we produce, from daily articles to new video releases and even exclusive discounts. And don't worry if daily is too much for you, we also have a weekly option. Don't let an algorithm decide what you see. Sign up for our newsletter and join the Getaway gang today.
We made it back just in time.
Yeah, as you can see, it's now pouring, and it was pouring for the last, I don't know, 100 feet of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So we got drenched, but it was like not, it was too close to pull our raincoats out.
Yeah, so we just jogged.
We ran for it. Anyway, I would say great hike. No wonder
yeah.
it is the most popular in this area. Very accessible. The path is paved. You know, there are a couple of rough pavement patches, but it has been raining here, so there's like kind of pools.
People had their strollers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to say wheelchair accessible because it
No.
gets really steep at some points.
Right, but
even if you have like children and strollers and stuff, like you can take them up a certain way.
yeah, and there are a couple of steps and stuff like that, but nothing too bad. But
Yeah.
the thing that we always look for in hikes are the payoff, and so this had payoffs for both of them, but differently. Like
Yeah,
they're both
upper falls and lower falls.
Yeah, so you can do with just a shorter hike to lower falls, and the payoff there is this like awesome little cave that you crawl into, and then it takes you out, and you're in this like cave that's been hollowed out by the waterfall, and it's like misting you in the face, and
Really cool.
yeah, really cool. Yeah, at first we were like, oh, the lower falls doesn't have anything on the upper falls, and then we went
Because
inside.
we went to upper falls first.
Yeah, then we went inside that cave, and we're like, oh, okay.
But upper falls has that huge walkway,
Yep,
catwalk,
that takes you.
that takes you like right up to the middle.
Yeah, in
That's
the middle.
really cool.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the water, and
Yeah.
so you get the misting from the falls that way too. So,
Yeah.
if you come here, both hikes. I mean, it's a continuation to get to upper hike. So if to upper falls. So if you only see lower falls, great payoff. But if you want to continue and see both, it is absolutely worth it. I
Yeah,
would say.
so beautiful. Such
Yeah.
a unique like path with the way they built it. Like honestly, I loved this hike. It was so cool.
Yeah, and then at the end, or the beginning, I guess, is, because it's an out and back hike, is a little bistro cafe thing. So we got
You know, lattes.
lattes.
And an apple fritter.
Yeah, so perfect. It's, yeah.
And now it starts raining and
Yeah,
it's like feels all cozy and
So
it's a good day.
we're gonna continue our journey. We don't have a reservation for tonight, so we're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna stay. I think I have multiple options that I've already pre-planned out, which is always what we tend to do, is have our first option and then our backup option, so we're not kind of freaking out. And then of course there's always the options after that, which is to get outside the national park. But I think we should have no problem, and we're heading to Fields Parkway.
Once again, based on the recommendation of our audio tour, we took a quick detour before hitting the Fields Parkway. We stayed on Highway 1 and entered back into British Columbia, more specifically, Yoho National Park. Here we saw Spiral Tunnel, Natural Bridge, and Emerald Lake. This was just a taste of what Yoho National Park holds, so we've added this park to the list of places we want to return to. The Fields Parkway is one of the most traveled highways in Canada. It's a beautiful stretch of road in Alberta between Lake Louise and Jasper. It's about 140 miles long and parallels the Continental Divide. If you were to drive it without stopping, it would take about 2.5 hours. But definitely plan to take longer because there's so many amazing stops. Check out our blog titled The Best Stops Along the Fields Parkway. You can find the link in the description of this video.
So this is Bow Lake, which is where all the water comes from. That's down in all those rivers we've been looking at. That goes all the way through Banff and
yeah, and then that comes from Bow Glacier, which is somewhere
in that white area.
Yeah,
somewhere
right there.
Yeah, this is cool. We were told by some people that they went up to Lake Louise a couple days before us, and it was like frozen still, they said, but earlier today, it wasn't at all. There wasn't any ice on Lake Louise.
No.
But
there's ice here though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know, I'd love to see this completely frozen over, but also, remember, we're from Southern California, so we don't deal with frozen lakes too often.
This is good enough for me. Our last stop was Pito Lake. It's about a 10-minute walk from the parking lot to the viewpoint where you can look down on the stunning blue water. We then called it a night and rolled into the Columbia Icefield Center around 8 p.m. to lot dock. We had a tour early the next morning to walk on the Athabasca Glacier, but you'll have to wait until next video to see that adventure. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it.